Well, I had already been in the WWF working for Vincent's father,
Yeah.
and he came to me and said, "Sarge, it's time for you to leave." And I said, "Did I do something wrong?" And he goes, "No, you're doing everything right. You're the greatest villain of all time, but I don't want you to get overexposed."
Hello, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of the Apter Chat. And I'm talking to a fellow here who's been professionally and personally a friend of mine forever. Sarge, at ease. You're at the
As you
Apter Chat.
were, as you were, Maggot.
Uh,
I was going to call you George, but I think Maggot's better.
You see, Sarge is one of the people like Stan Hansen when photographer George Napolitano and I would come to a show together. He couldn't tell the difference between the two of us, so I had to give them photos posed with the two of us, George, Sarge, Bill. So I think he may have become confused. Anyway, you look terrific. I know you came back from a wonderful vacation with your family, and you're all relaxed.
I am. I had to leave the beach 2 days early because I had to be in Tucson, Arizona last weekend, which was an incredible show. First time I've been to the Tucson Comic Con, and the wonderful people that ran that show. More people should learn from them that do those shows because it was number one, top rated, AAA. Took care of us. Everything was first class, and really enjoyed meeting all the people from Tucson. It's been a long time since I'd been there, and I used to go down there a lot. I almost bought a home in Tubac, Arizona, but yeah, I just couldn't find enough ways to fly out to get to the East Coast enough. So I just decided to settle in North Carolina instead.
Yep.
But hello to all those who may be listening from Tucson or from Arizona. Really had a great time. It was a battle getting back because of the weather through Texas, but we made it back.
You are here. So we're gonna do by the time I get to Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Glenn Campbell.
Yeah.
When you do these conventions, and this one you said was amazing, what's the most frequent question people ask you when they come to
Uh, Usually they ask my agent so that I can hear it. Is that really him? Is
you?
that really him? That guy that's got the campaign cover on and is signing the autographs. He's too young to be Sergeant Slaughter. And
See, isn't that
a
good?
lot of people don't believe it's me
Uh,
because I don't
What
know.
what
They
do
say
they
I
ask
have
you
the fountain of youth or something.
when they come up to you and talk to you? What do they talk to you about mainly?
Well, basically, all the matches that I had, with Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik, uh, who I would love to have wrestled, and was how was my what was my favorite match? And I said I have so many favorite matches: the Pat Patterson alley fight,
Oh, I
Madison
was
Square
there.
Garden, of course, the boot camp match with the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden, and the tag match that we had in Greensboro with Steamboat Youngblood. Don Curnola, Don Curnola and I were
Oh yeah,
tag team
that was
champions.
at a Starrcade.
That started Starrcade.
Yes, I
They
was
hadn't
there.
started Starrcade yet, but when we turned 17,000 cars away, I guess someone got the idea maybe we should start doing something different. I tried to talk Jimmy Crockett into doing a closed circuit in another building nearby, but he didn't think we were going to do that big of a crowd. And then it took me about 2 hours to get about 4 miles. I finally parked my car at a 7-Eleven about a half a mile from the arena, and I hoofed it up to the arena because I was late. And we only had 5 matches on the card, which was an incredible feat. And Ric Flair came to us. Well, he came more or less to me, and he said, "Sarge, I'm wrestling the Hammer,
Yeah,
in a title match. We're the last match. Do you mind if we go on before you? And he said, why? He said, we'll never be able to follow that
that's
match.
right. They'll not, also,
And
they'll
the
never get
reason
out
those
of the
people
building.
are here is to see you
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
So,
When I talked to Dusty years ago, um, he told me that when Vince saw that, all the great stuff that Crockett was doing with Starcast, um, Starrcade.
Starrcade.
Yes, yes. I'm thinking
Yeah,
of Conrad Thompson's
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Uh,
That's
Vince
why
looked
they
at
call
that.
you George.
That's right. So that was pre-WrestleMania. There was no
It
WrestleMania at
was.
that time.
That's what
Yeah. So
started. That's what started both of them. That match started everything, and pay-per-view came along the next year. We missed it by a year.
what was Vince like to work with back then? Because this was all new. A lot of people was going like, "You're crazy. This will never
Yeah,
work."
yeah. Well, I had already been in the WWF working for Vince's father,
Yeah.
and he came to me and said, "Sarge, it's time for you to leave." And I said, "Did I do something wrong?" And he goes, "No, you're doing everything right. You're the greatest villain of all time, but I don't want you to get overexposed. So there's a slot open in Charlotte if you want to go down there." I said, "Okay, I'll go." So I was down there for a couple of years, won the U.S. title twice
I
from
remember.
Steamboat and Wahoo ended up getting it back from me. And then it was basically time to move on. So we did the tag team tournament
Yep.
in Japan, and then we got the titles on, and I got the NWA World titles, and we came back and defended them. And Dory Funk was the booker then.
Right.
And I said, I'll do this if we don't have any bookers involved. Let us run the program. So Jimmy Crockett said, you got it. So we did things that had never been done in professional
Yeah, it
wrestling.
was
We had
it
a
was amazing.
press, press conference where we had a contract signing, had attorneys there.
I was there.
Yeah, we had, excuse me, we had what they call vignettes, where we had Steamboat Youngblood working out with Johnny Weaver and putting music into that, and just something that people hadn't seen. And
I'm going
so
to ask you.
we
I'm going to ask you a loaded question because you're
yeah,
one of the few people who could, as Iron Sheik would say, intelligently
yeah,
tell what was the difference between Vince Sr. and Vince Jr., in your opinion?
yeah. Well, I was getting to that. That was uh, Vince Senior was he had a lot of ideas, but he didn't express them out loud. He would come to you and take you aside with his four quarters that he'd always jingle, and take you aside and tell you what he wanted to do. He was really a kayfaber. And so when he told me it was time to go, I figured I was going to come back. When I did come back, uh, he was getting ready to let it go over to Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And so I came back in again as a villain, and we did the three shows in Allentown, and so we went out for a drink. Arnie Skolin always picked a few guys that Senior wanted to have dinner with and have a drink. So about eight of us were sitting around the bar after dinner, and he said, "Sergeant," he never called me Bob or Robert or Sergeant Slaughter. It was always Sergeant. "Sergeant, it's so good to have you back. You are the greatest villain of all time." And blah blah blah. And I said, "Well, Mr. McMahon, if you think I'm such a good villain, you ought to see me as a hero." And he said, "A hero? No way. Sergeant Slaughter couldn't be a hero, Sergeant. He's just that might work for a little while, but he said, but what's your idea?" He wanted to hear my idea, so I said, "Well, you got the Iron Sheik here, and you got the Marines, Sergeant Slaughter, and nobody ever really got a payback or punched Ayatollah Khomeini in the nose for all that he did." And I went through the whole hostage situation and the killing of the Marines at the embassy and the Blackhawks going down. I went through the whole thing, the whole scenario, and I almost hypnotized him. He was listening to me with his mouth wide open, kind of like George does when you talk to him.
Yeah.
And he's like, and he snapped out of it. He said, "That's a great idea, Sergeant, but that could only happen for a little while." He said, "But thanks for always putting your input into everything." And I look over his shoulder, and there's Vincent Kennedy giving me the thumbs up.
Junior, yeah.
Yeah, and he turns around and he said, Vinny, don't you turn the sergeant into a hero. It'll work for a little while." He said, "Okay, Pop, let's go." And off they went. So 3 weeks later, we go to do TV again. And there we were. First hour I was the villain, second hour villain, third hour I was off. And here comes Vincent Kennedy into the locker room. You know how those locker rooms were
Yep.
in Allentown, the little curtain. And he said, "Sarge, you ready?" And I said, I was getting undressed. I said, "Ready? Ready for what?" He goes, "To do what you told my dad 3 weeks ago." And I said, "You mean going against the Iron Sheik?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "When you want to do it?" He said, "Right now." I said, "Right now?" He goes, "Yeah, the Iron Sheik's going out with Ayatollah Blasi. And I'm not going to tell them. I'm not going to tell anybody. Only
So
you and I. And
he didn't even let his father know?
no, no."
Oh,
And so he said, "I'm going to go to the truck because I got to have them play your music. That's the only." And Kevin Dunn's father was running it at that time. He was
the
the
production
director,
man. Yeah.
producer. So here come Junior. He goes, "Okay, we're all set. But what I want you to do is go out and challenge Iron Sheik and give me your best General Patton promo." And off he goes. And I said, "Okay, okay." Now, try,
Wait. Hold on. Did
yeah,
you think at that time Vince Sr. was still running the business at
yeah.
that?
He was in the background somewhere.
So
I
did you
didn't.
think that,
I,
you're going to do this without his permission?
I had no time. I was up next, so I didn't even look for him. I was just trying to find my boots to put them back on. And somebody had taken my campaign cover. They take your stuff from the ring, and then you wrestle, and you come back and you try to find your stuff. And so I couldn't find my campaign cover, so I put a baseball cap on and the Marine Corps insignia on it. So I went out and they played my music, and I was watching the monitor before I went out, and both Fred Blassie and Iron Sheik at the same time, I could read their lips. They said, "Wrong music, wrong." They're looking around like, why are they playing Sergeant Slaughter's music? So here I come. And Fred Blassie right away got this big smile on his face, and he goes, "Something's up." He was a veteran, a legend. He knew it was
He
something was
got it.
going on. So we didn't touch each other. We just kind of argued, and I went into the ring. Sheik had beat the heck out of Eddie Gilbert pretty bad, put him on a stretcher. So when he got out of the arena, I took the microphone and I said, "Iron Sheik, there's something I've done since I was a little boy, since I was in grade school, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, the Marine Corps." And I put my hand on my heart and started doing the Pledge of Allegiance. And those people all just, I
They
was
went crazy.
the most hated villain 5 minutes earlier. And now they're standing on chairs with lighters saying the Pledge of Allegiance with me. And when I got done, I said, "I declare war on you, Iron Sheik." And the place went
So
erupted.
what happened when you went in the back? Did Vince Sr. say, what?
Oh, he was elated. His
Good.
his quarters were going so fast,
Good.
it almost made a song.
What would you say is the basic difference between senior and junior?
Uh, uh, Junior only had one thing in mind, and that was to become a billionaire.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
and and Senior was don't. I remember him telling uh, Vincent Kennedy several times, "Don't tread on your neighbor's property. Don't go over the line of anybody else's." territories.
Sure.
We're all friends, and you're just going to make enemies. And Vince saw the future. He saw the pay-per-view. He saw the cable television, and he just wanted to. He had all these ideas, and
Yeah.
he couldn't keep them in any longer.
Yeah.
And when he had the talent that he had with myself and the Iron Sheik and Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper and the Orndorffs and all the guys, Tito Santana, all these guys that can not only talk, but they could perform also. We didn't need managers, really.
Yeah.
They gave us managers to keep somebody employed,
Yeah. It was the beginning of sports entertainment, as
It
as
was, but we
what
didn't call it that. We still kayfabed it.
um with you were
I
very.
still do. I still
Oh, I
kayfabe.
do too. I do too. I
Yeah,
do too. So that's why my book, remember, is Wrestling
yeah,
Fixed. I didn't know it
right,
was broken.
right.
So let's
Great,
go,
great book, by the way. Great book.
thank you. Thank you. And in October, it'll be 10 years that it's on
Wow.
this
Wow. I
day.
got to read it again.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Yeah.
It's great. I
Give me
remember the
something
first
to do
time
on
you
the
told me,
airplane.
what's that?
I said, something for me to do on the airplane.
Well, great. I'm
I'm
glad you
just
still
finishing
have.
up Matthew McConaughey's book. Have you read it?
No, not yet.
Oh, I can't put it down. It's so fun to read.
I will check it out.